What's up, gingos? But so the point of this video, I just want to talk about how Instagram and Tinder and like all these online dating apps kind of ruined this generation of like men or even like women and like the whole dating scene. Not ruined particularly, but just like it's interesting to see how it like affects how people interact in real life per se. And I was just in the shower, I was thinking about this because I was like, I have a struggle, right? Where I can talk to women, I can talk to guys, I can talk to anybody, right? I can maintain and hold good conversation. But the idea of approaching women, right, just for like partners or whatever, and even like approaching guys like you become friends with or whatever, I struggle with that. Like just the initial approach, like not being able to like break the ice or whatever you want to call it. And I'm not gonna use no like, I don't like going in with compliments. I'm not gonna go up with a fucking cheesy ass pickup line. I'm not gonna like whatever, right? And it's weird because if I ever need to go talk to someone, I can, right? Like when I'm in the gym and I need like a machine or something, I'll go up to them and be like, blah, 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 can I have the machine, this and that, right? So there's no actual fear tied to it or anything like that, right? Because if I was really scared, I would never do it, right? Because I'm talking to them for a machine that I want or something that I like notice or whatever, or like when I'm at work and I need to go talk to someone, like I can go do it even if I've never talked to them before, right? So there's no actual fear. If fear is a whole completely different thing. I think I have like I don't know if it's my ego or, you know, maybe someone else understands the science of it, but there's a barrier between me and approaching other humans. Maybe it's the way I grew up and like I was like shy or timid or whatever the case may be, right? But I also think it's because of like, so when I used to, before I was like in the gym and like thinking about like, oh, I should go talk to this woman or whatever, this and that, right? When you're on Tinder and on Instagram, these things are like, for me specifically, and I feel like I've read studies about it, so I know it's true for like a mass population or whatever. But like, you know, as we know, guys in this day and age do not like approaching women, right? We think we're gonna get caught up, we think we're gonna get rejected. You know, there's a fear of all of that. But also on top of that, it makes no sense because women actually are more enticed and interested in guys who go up to them and talk to them because there's like a level of confidence or just like proximity and vibe, and like, you know, there's no like, you know, when a girl meets a guy online, there's like that fear level, like, oh, what if he kills me? Like, I never met this guy, I don't know nothing about him, right? In real life, there's no, like, if you guys are all within the same area, if it's like in a class or in a gym or some hobby or at the bar or whatever, there's like a level of proximity where you can still feel relatively safe rather than like, oh, I don't know who this guy is or whatever, right? But, so in theory, girls like being approached more in real life and you have a better chance, but yet guys are more scared and have a bigger fear of approaching women in real life. And it makes no sense, especially if you're a guy who can talk and hold conversation, right? So I was just thinking about it, right? When I would be like, I don't use Tinder no more, but when I was on Tinder a long time ago, I would like always like, you know, when you're on Tinder, you swipe right on whoever the fuck, right? You're just like, when I wasn't using it to actually like link girls or whatever. I was just kind of curious to see if I can get matches or whatever, right? And there's like a whole studies on that, like when you like first I would always make multiple Tinder accounts, right? Because I didn't care about linking. I just cared about like, I guess getting the validation, which is bad in itself, but I was younger or whatever, right? So I would swipe right in the first hour of your Tinder. When you make a new account, they give you a boost. They give you this boost because it allows you to become more accustomed and acclimated to the app, because like, oh my god, I'm getting so much matches, let me keep using it. It's like a addiction thing that Tinder's in their data or whatever the fuck people over there use to like mechanically boost your need and desire for it, right? So I'm like, when you swipe on everybody on Tinder, you're not counting how many people you're swiping right on. You're just swiping, and then you wait for the matches to come in or whatever, right? And like I said, the boost gives you more likes, like at the bottom or whatever. So I would always get more and more likes. I'm like, yo, I got 30, 40 likes within 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, this is fire, right? I get a little bit addicted, right? A little bit of dopamine, that's what they do. But all the right swipes I did, right? Say I swiped up on like 500 girls or whatever, right? You're not gonna actually count the 500. You just swipe and you wait, right? And when you finally eventually get the match, and maybe an hour or two later, you maybe get 10 matches, 15 matches, right? And like, damn, I got 10 new girls who are like interested in me or whatever, right? So you get a little bit excited, you get attached to the app. But in the back of my head was like, I never thought about it until I saw something later where I forgot where I saw it, but it told me how much swipe rights I had. And I'm like, damn, like I didn't know I swiped right that much times. And it makes it like, oh, I got 10 matches, but I swiped 500 times. So 1 in 50 is a horrible 10 out of 500 is 1 in 50, right? So I was like, that's 2%. So I'm like, damn, 2% of people only like me back. Like that's a horrible conversion rate. And so then I would take this mentality and I would like use on Instagram, right? So then like I never swiped up on girls on Instagram stories or whatever, right? And like I never like randomly swiped into a girl's like chat, that's weird, right? You have to like swipe up on the story or whatever. And I would take this approach and be like, oh, so only 2, because I'm like a math person, so probabilities were everything to me. So I was like, if only 2% of girls like, you know, match with me on Tinder, and these girls like saw my pictures and they're interested in me or whatever, and not to even account for the girls who just swipe left on me and I don't even know about them, right? Because that's on their side or whatever, right? So if in theory I only get 2% of matches or whatever, if I go swipe up on 50 girls on Instagram, I'm only gonna get 1 person to respond for 50 girls. 100 girls, I only get 2, right? That's the math. Because I applied it from Tinder. Whether it was correct or not, it doesn't matter. It just, my brain was locked in. So then I was like, with these probabilities, I'm just not gonna swipe up on anyone because the odds are not in my favor. Like, I'm not gonna swipe up on 100 girls, so I only get 2 responses. That makes no sense, right? Or 2 matches, or whatever you want to say. And so I would literally not swipe up on anyone and not realize, I don't know why I didn't realize, like, if you swipe up on no one, you literally get nothing. And even if you swipe up with horrible probabilities, you still have a higher chance of getting a response than if you swipe up on nobody, because something is better than nothing, right? Nonetheless, this whole probability shit fucked up my head, I think. And obviously fucked up my the way I use Instagram or whatever, like swiping up, because I feel like as a guy, you're only really using Instagram to like talk to and get with women. If you're using it for like, other than that, like if you're using it for business purposes or whatever, if you have a personal Instagram as a guy and you're using it for anything other than like talking to girls, maybe you talk to your friends, like watch memes or whatever, it's like fine. But if you're like using it as like a girl would, like, you know, posting your day to day or posting pictures very often or whatever, I don't know. I didn't do it like that. I wouldn't do it like that. Nonetheless, right? It was such a weird thing when I'm thinking about it, because I feel like that approach I took from Tinder to Instagram, I also took that from Instagram into real life. So when I would see a girl that I'm attracted to or whatever, I'd be like, if I go approach her, what are the chances I actually get a response? When obviously that's such a weird way to like look at it, because on Instagram they can hide behind their phone, they can just ignore the message because they have tons of guys they're not responding to, maybe they don't care about my message, whatever, right? But in real life, when you go and talk to someone, even if they don't really want to talk to you, they're still gonna, because it's a human thing to do. So in theory, my response rate in real life would be 100%. And given like the proximity and like being able to read signals better in real life rather than online, like if they're like giving you eye contact, if they're like passing by you a lot, if they're playing with their hair, all these like little shit, you can like interpret it and you can get a better response rate. You can get more out of each approach rather than I was on Instagram and Tinder. But I feel like a lot of guys are like this, because there's like all these studies where all these guys are using like dating apps and they're getting no matches. And, you know, all these guys are now afraid to approach women. They're all like, we all use the same excuse. Oh, I'm so scared of getting rejected. I'm so scared of this and that. It's like, no, we're not. Like, you've gotten rejected before. You've gotten rejected from job offers. You've gotten rejected from girls, whatever, right? And it's like, once it happens, you're like, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. So I really don't think that's the reason. I think it's just an excuse most of us use due to like some psychological issue. My psychological issue is the probability of response, which I'm trying to get over now, because I'm like, it makes no sense, my approach to approaching women, but it's something I'm working on. I feel like it's very important for you to get deep and understand why you are the way you are with whatever problem you have in life. And this is just me like doing a very deep analysis, just thinking like, how does this make any sense? Like, if I were to say like I'm scared of rejections or I'm scared of talking to women, then I would like become debilitated every time I got rejected, or every time I had to go talk to a girl, I would be like, oh my god, I'm so scared, I'm so nervous. But it's like, those are not the cases. So me using the like excuse, oh, I'm scared of rejection, this and that, it made no sense. Point is, and now I don't use Instagram or Tinder because I'm trying to, and this was after, like, I haven't used Instagram in like 45 days now, I think, and like Tinder I haven't used in a very long time or whatever, right? And I feel like because of my break from the apps, it has allowed me to think more clearly, because I'm cutting out the noise. I'm trying to make more sense of like my actual thoughts, which is the reason I like cut off all my social media usage, because I feel like when you're just using all of it, you just get too much noise. Nonetheless, I feel like you need to really define why you have certain issues that you want to work past if you want to solve them, right? I want to be able to go talk to women, I want to be able to talk to guys and network or whatever, right? And so I realized that I need to solve this problem, and to solve this problem was I needed to get a deeper understanding of what the actual issue was, because it wasn't the bullshit excuse that we all feed ourselves. So figure it out for yourself. We're all gonna win.